Okay, so we've got the height layer taken care of. What I'm going to do is just go in here really quick and grab my brush, take it back to the basic hard. Oop. Hitting X to invert it. And what I want to do is just bring this thing back to normal, just so we're not confusing the normal map details with all of this other bogus height information I've thrown in there. There we go. And actually, just as an interesting aside, as you get working with Substance Painter on a regular basis, so I come in here, I've got all of this absolutely beautiful height detail that I've created, and I want to get rid of it. So a way that would make sense is to add a black mask and clear it. If we do that, unfortunately, what it also decides to do is this, what I've added is a new black mask. So it actually got rid of the anchor point information. So it cleared it from here, and that's not what I want to do. So even though it does seem kind of ridiculous in a way to do it this way, this is going to preserve the connections that I've already made here and here, which is what I want. Okay, so now let's create the normal map version of this. And as I've kind of explained before, this is probably one of the few uses I have for an actual blank layer. And the reason for that is we actually want to paint in hard surface, normal details onto this layer so that it can do what I need it to do. So with that, I've got a blank layer selected. That means there's no fill information. So this, what I'm seeing here in the properties, is my brush information. So what I want to do is turn everything off except for normal. And then I want to grab a sufficiently interesting shape. Let's go with something. Sure, that looks great. Okay, so go in here, punch this in. Normal maps are awesome as they can create not only depth but height information, something that we can get from an alpha, but it's kind of hit or miss and a lot kind of harder to set up. Whereas a normal map done right, it looks awesome. And also too, we can see we're running into that same sort of thing where it's trying to align the brush and not doing a very good job of it. So let's just quickly go in, find our alignment, and set this to camera so we can actually, just as long as we pay attention, we've got it going right here. And let's throw in some extra stuff just to make it interesting. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. So exactly same scenario here. So this one, we're right clicking on it and we're adding an anchor point. Does the same thing, grabs the awesome naming convention I used, which is unnamed layer 1. So this is kind of an interesting point because I want this to actually become normal detail. Now, since I added this before I named it correctly, I actually have to go in and manually name this correctly. So not a big thing, but easier to see and kind of keep straight if you get things named correctly, and kind of try to do that on a regular basis. So exact same scenario. We're scrolling, clicking on here, scrolling right to the bottom. And so where we set up height before, we're setting the micro normal. We've got our anchor points tab, normal details, and this one has a extra step. We're not having to invert it. It's normal map information. It's going to use it, but the reference channel by default, for some reason, is base color, and we want to tell it to actually use the normal. Then we're going up. We've already got micro details opened, and we're seeing micro detail is off. We want to turn it on, and we're already seeing the dirt suck in. Rinse and repeat for the metal edge, down to the very bottom. Anchor point, normal detail, not base color, normal map information. Back up to the micro details, and turning this on. And now we have the combination of the two, so we can add 2 different passes of some nice detail work, and they turn out looking quite convincing.